Welcome back to Viewpoint. I'm Jeff Horowitz, Chief Growth Officer at Post Hospitality Payments. Today, we're bringing you a conversation you don't want to miss. Geneva Reinhardt, publisher at Hospitality Upgrade, sat with Rosanna Maietta from the American Hotel and Lodging Association for an in-depth discussion on association efforts to support the hospitality industry and how recent federal policy changes are impacting hotels and operators across the country. Let's get into it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hospitality Upgrade's exclusive Viewpoint series. I'm Geneva Reinhardt, publisher of Hospitality Upgrade magazine, and today we're thrilled to have a very special guest with us. Joining me is Rosanna Maietta, the CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, an organization at the forefront of advocating for the hospitality industry. Hi, Rosanna. Thanks so much for being here.
So nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
So let's start with the big picture question. What are AHLA's top legislative priorities for the hospitality industry this year? And what can HFTP stakeholders do to advance those priorities?
Look, it's a really interesting time right now with a lot of global uncertainty, and how does that translate here in Washington and around the country, and what can we do to help as AHLA? Our job is to be more proactive, to be more visible, and to continue to drive results despite what's happening in the world. We are actively building champions on the House and Senate side to make sure more people understand that hotels that thrive do well for their communities, and communities doing well means the rest of the state and country economy are doing better. Our focus is on driving profitability for our owners and highlighting the need for greater demand. When more people are traveling, it's good for business. It's good for all of us. Of course, we're seeing operators having higher rising operating costs, whether that's insurance or property tax, and how are we fighting back there? We're trying to strengthen the hotel workforce, easing international travel, especially ahead of the World Cup and some of these big events. And then here in Washington, looking to pass the American Franchise Act, which is so important to our industry. Really important that we have a lot of global players at the table, and how we can make sure that we have a presence here at home and abroad where it matters.
That's a great segue into my next question. It's kind of a follow-up. For the members of our global audience, what should people know about the U.S. hotel industry?
So look, many of the issues that we're dealing with, they have probably dealt with in their communities too, whether that's regulation around technology and distribution, how we're thinking about AI and what happens here, what that guest experience looks like. So that's a lot of what we're focused on. We're also looking at, workforce, and how do we solve for a retiring older workforce? Where do we find new people who want to invest in this industry for their careers? Is this still the place where the American dream is alive and well? And so making sure that we're laser focused on that. Those are very similar issues to abroad. Taxes, tariffs, some of the same issues that everyone is dealing with around the country, we're focused on here. And of course, as we look to the World Cup, a big global event, our hotels are working with local officials to ensure safety and security precautions are in place, but also that ease of travel and making sure that global travelers coming to the States know what to expect when they get here, what they need to do to apply for a visa, how long those wait times are, and all of those things.
You touched on a big topic in there. Let's move into something that's on everyone's mind. How is AHLA advocating for legislation regarding artificial intelligence?
Wow, isn't that the hot debate around the country, around Congress, here in Washington, in the states that feel like Congress isn't moving swiftly enough? I mean, I think one of the things that we're concerned about is ensuring we don't have a patchwork of AI legislation. How complicated would that be for our industry? So we're really watching what's coming out of Washington very carefully. We're behind the scenes having those conversations. Our HTNG technology arm has been laser focused on this. We have several working groups that that are really thinking about the use challenges of AI. Our committees are discussing this. So it is integral in everything that we're doing at AHLA, and even how we work at AHLA and how our own teams are using it, right? And so really thinking about how our hotels using it around guest experience, but also on the ops side, and whether that can lead to greater efficiency, greater scheduling power, but also greater profitability. And especially in the face of rising costs. So this is central to everything that we're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's transformational. Let's talk a little bit more about the future and talk to us about HT&G. What is AHLA working on and what's on the horizon for HT&G?
Great question. I mean, we're so proud of the last 5 years. In fact, we're coming up to our anniversary of HT&G becoming a part of AHLA. There's been a huge amount of work done to elevate technology as an AHLA priority, and the work coming out of the working groups is so meaningful. We've grown awareness of the HT&G brand here in the States, but also globally, delivering solutions to advance industry technologies. They've been at the forefront of developing best practices, convening global leaders at events around the world. And I'm so proud of the creation of T100. It's leaders in this space who come together to really tackle some of those hot topics like AI, but also what's next in AI. A lot of that work was led by Dave Solander and Sandy, and unfortunately both of them are retiring this year. It's like they waited for the 5-year anniversary, so we're sad to see them go, but we've staffed up internally as well to make sure that we have the resources we need in-house to work with this meaningful group of industry leaders around the globe and advance this important work. The other thing I would say is that we're adding, we're in this process of thinking about our strategic plan for the next 5 years at AHLA, and where technology fits into that is going to be a major pillar and focus area. So as we think about the growth of the next 5 years, it's really around thought leadership in the space, building around and growing and strengthening our events, working with HFTP and Frank and your team, and how can we find ways to collaborate more effectively together. And then on the advocacy front, all those areas we're going to need to engage more directly at the local, state, and even federal level.
Wow, that's a great answer. All right, lastly, I have one more question. Lastly, AHLA is currently working on a new 3-year strategic plan. Can you give us a glimpse into some of these new strategies?
Sure. It's always fun when you can spend time with your industry leaders to look into the future and decide where we're going to go in the next 3 years. But, the truth is we're building on a lot of the momentum of the last 5 years and our current strategic plan. I don't expect you'll see massive changes. We're still going to be focused on workforce. We're still going to be focused on labor, distribution, and technology. But we are really trying to think about where is the industry going to be in 3 years? How are consumers shifting? Where's demand going? And what is our role in that? You're going to see AHLA focused on things that are unique to the hotel industry that no other trade association can tackle. And so that's where we're going to be laser focused. We're still in early stages. We expect to have this plan hopefully developed and delivered by the end of the year. So more to come on that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these valuable insights. It's really clear that the AHLA is driving meaningful change in the hospitality industry. So thank you so much for your efforts.
Thank you, and thanks for all you all do, and we look forward to greater collaboration.
Great. Thanks. And thank you to our viewers for tuning into this exclusive Viewpoint. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Hospitality Upgrade. Until next time, bye-bye.